Have you ever wondered if certain rarely discussed intimate activities could be affecting your health, especially your prostate? Have you heard myths and felt a pang of worry, or worse yet, a silent fear that prevents you from living your life to the fullest? Today, we're going to break down a barrier of silence and confront a widespread belief. I am Dr. Elena Castillo, and my mission is to be that clear and compassionate voice that offers you straightforward truths. For decades, I have accompanied men and women through the beautiful stage of adulthood, listening to their most personal concerns and helping them find peace and well-being. I fully understand that discussing certain topics can be uncomfortable. But here, in this safe haven, there is no judgment, only support and knowledge. It's completely normal that, as the years go by, new questions arise about our bodies and our routines. In fact, many of my patients, brave men well into their 70s or 80s, have confided in me their concerns about whether daily masturbation, for example, could be causing damage to their prostate or even increasing their risk of serious illnesses. This misinformation, this fog of myths, is an unnecessary burden. I want you to know that you are not alone in these questions, and that it's time to replace anxiety with liberating truth. Many believe that frequent sexual activity, including masturbation, wears out the body, or that excessive ejaculations are harmful to the prostate. This is a deeply rooted myth, fueled by long-held taboos and a lack of clear information about male anatomy and function. I recall the case of Don Roberto, a vibrant 75-year-old man who confessed to me with some embarrassment that he had drastically reduced his intimate life, both with his wife, Doña Carmen, and alone, due to the persistent fear that he was exhausting or damaging his prostate, or even that he might be accelerating the development of cancer. His concern was palpable, and the effect on his overall well-being and his relationship was evident. But the truth, dear friends, is much more liberating. Our bodies are designed to function, and the prostate, that small walnut-sized gland essential to male sexual health, is robust and resilient. Regular sexual activity, including masturbation, doesn't wear down or weaken it. Thinking that frequent ejaculation can damage. It is like believing that using a muscle weakens it, when in reality, moderate and consistent use keeps it strong and functional. Far from being harmful, modern science offers us a different and very encouraging perspective. Some studies suggest, and I insist on suggest because research is always advancing, that frequent ejaculation might even have a protective effect. Let's analyze this in more detail. Let's think of our prostate as a small system that needs regular maintenance. Ejaculation, in essence, acts as a natural cleaning process. By releasing seminal fluid, it also helps expel old cells and any substances that might stagnate in the prostatic ducts. It's like a constantly flowing river, preventing the buildup of harmful sediment. Significant research, including studies from the prestigious Harvard University, has put this into perspective. Their results suggest that men who ejaculate more frequently, for example, 21 times a month or more, may have a slightly reduced risk of developing prostate cancer over their lifetime, compared to those who ejaculate less frequently. It's important to emphasize that this is not a guarantee or a cure, but rather a factor that could contribute to prostate health within the context of an overall healthy lifestyle. So, far from being something that wears out or damages, regular sexual activity, in all its healthy manifestations, is a vital and natural part of the male experience. It promotes good circulation in the pelvic region, maintains tissue elasticity, and, as we now know, can play a role in prostate cleansing and cellular renewal. It's a testament to our body's innate wisdom, designed for vitality, not to be governed by unfounded fears. The truth, as always, is liberating and allows us to embrace our health in a more informed and fulfilling way. Now, let's address another widespread fear: the idea that frequent masturbation can cause prostatitis, an inflammation of the prostate. Let me be very clear. There is no scientific evidence linking masturbation, no matter how frequent, with the development of prostatitis. In fact, as we've already mentioned, regular ejaculatory activity can contribute to prostate health by promoting flow and cleansing. Prostatitis is a complex condition that can have a variety of causes, from bacterial infections, which are the most common, to non-infectious inflammations, or even neurological and muscular problems in the pelvic region. The symptoms can be bothersome and distressing, but it's crucial to understand that they are not the result of abuse or excessive sexual activity. Thinking this way only adds unnecessary guilt and anxiety to an already difficult condition. Let's imagine the prostate as a small gland that needs to keep its ducts clear. If the flow stagnates, problems can arise. Ejaculation acts as a natural mechanism to ensure this drainage. So, rather than triggering inflammation, it can be, figuratively speaking, a preventative measure that helps keep the system functioning properly. The true risk factors for prostatitis are usually more related to urinary tract infections, pelvic injuries, or certain lifestyle choices, but not to the frequency of masturbation or sexual intercourse. And it is precisely here, where studies as relevant as the one from Harvard University offer us a solid and reassuring scientific perspective. This study, one of the largest and most rigorous of its kind, followed nearly 32,000 men for 18 years, analyzing the relationship between their ejaculatory frequency and the risk of developing prostate cancer. The results were overwhelming and, for many, surprising. What the Harvard researchers found was a statistically significant inverse association. Men who reported a higher frequency of ejaculation had a lower risk of being diagnosed with prostate cancer. Specifically, men who ejaculated 21 or more times per month showed a significant reduction in their risk of prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated between 4 and 7 times per month. This doesn't mean that ejaculation is a cure for cancer, of course, nor that it guarantees that the disease will never develop, but it does provide us with an important piece of the puzzle. It is postulated that regular ejaculation could help eliminate carcinogens or inflammatory substances accumulated in the prostate through prostatic fluids. Think of it as a process of cellular cleansing or renewal, by maintaining a constant flow. The stagnation of old or potentially damaged cells is prevented, and the environment conducive to the development of abnormalities is reduced. This discovery is tremendously liberating for many, as it demystifies old beliefs and taboos that have long surrounded male sexuality and prostate health. It allows us to approach the topic with evidence-based information, rather than unfounded fears. It's a reminder that our bodies have natural protective mechanisms, and that an active and healthy sex life, including ejaculation, can be part of those mechanisms. Consider, for example, the importance of keeping other systems in our body active. A constantly flowing river stays clean, while a stagnant one accumulates sediment. Similarly, the prostate, by participating in this regular release process, may be facilitating the elimination of those cells that, if left behind, could cause problems. It's not a magic bullet, I insist, but rather a factor that contributes to a healthier prostate environment. This knowledge invites us to view sexuality not only as a source of pleasure or reproduction, but as an integral part of overall male health. For many men, the idea of discussing ejaculation or sexual frequency with their doctor can be uncomfortable. However, this study gives us a compelling reason to normalize these conversations. It allows us to understand that taking care of our intimate lives also means taking care of our physical health, in this case, our prostate. It's not about establishing a rigid number that everyone should achieve, but rather recognizing that regular sexual activity and ejaculation, within a context of well-being and personal choice, can have protective benefits. It's a reminder that health is a complex ecosystem where various factors interact. Let's delve into the scientific theories. The prostate stagnation hypothesis postulates that regular ejaculation facilitates a constant flow and turnover, of prostatic fluids. Without this release, fluids can stagnate, accumulating irritants or carcinogens. This natural flushing helps eliminate undesirable elements, preventing an environment conducive to inflammation or the development of abnormal cells. The theory of cell renewal explains that our body continually replaces old cells with new ones. Frequent ejaculation is believed to stimulate a more active and efficient cell renewal cycle in the prostate. Old or damaged cells are quickly replaced with healthy ones, reducing the time that abnormalities remain in the tissue. This is vital for maintaining prostate health and preventing problems. Finally, stress and inflammation reduction. Sexual activity and orgasm release endorphins and oxytocin, promoting well-being and relaxation. They also decrease cortisol, the stress hormone. Chronic stress and systemic inflammation are risk factors for many diseases, including prostate cancer. By reducing these factors, regular ejaculation contributes to a less inflammatory body environment, benefiting overall prostate health. Well, we've explored how the body itself contributes to prostate health through natural processes. But what happens when we look for that something more? Often, people are understandably drawn to solutions that promise relief or significant improvement, especially when it comes to a condition that so greatly impacts quality of life. It's natural to look to diverse sources. At this point in our journey, our production team has investigated an external resource that has gained some attention: a spring water from a specific region of Asia. It's said to have properties that, according to some testimonies, alleviate symptoms related to prostate problems. It's a fascinating example of how folk wisdom or ancient traditions sometimes present us with alternatives worth pursuing with an open mind, but always with a critical spirit and an informed approach. It's important to remember that the world is full of natural wonders and remedies that have been passed down from generation to generation. However, in the modern age, where information flows endlessly, it is our responsibility to discern. We must always ask ourselves, is there evidence to support these claims? Is it safe? How does this fit into a comprehensive care plan validated by healthcare professionals? Let's consider the context. Throughout history, different cultures have turned to elements of nature for healing. From medicinal herbs to water from certain springs, the belief in the healing power of the earth runs deep. And sometimes, there's a scientific basis that emerges years later, validating those ancient practices. But other times, the effect may be more a reflection of hope and the placebo effect, which, although powerful, doesn't replace medical treatment when necessary. So what does this mean for us? It means that while the idea of a simple solution, such as drinking water from a specific source, may be appealing, the reality of prostate health is much more nuanced and multifaceted. There is no magic pill, no miracle source that will solve every challenge. It's a common mistake to focus on a single element, such as ejaculation frequency, and believe that's where the whole key lies. As we've already discussed, regular ejaculation can be a beneficial component for many, helping to keep the ducts clear and reducing fluid buildup. However, limiting yourself to that factor is like looking at a single piece of a huge puzzle without appreciating the full picture. Prostate health is an interconnected ecosystem where diet, exercise, stress management, lifestyle choices, and of course regular checkups all play equally vital and often more decisive roles. Consider Dr. Ricardo, a urologist colleague who always emphasizes that even if a patient asks him about ejaculation, he always redirects the conversation to diet, movement, and sleep. He used to say, "The prostate doesn't live in isolation, it's part of a body that breathes, eats, and feels." And that perspective, my dear friends, is fundamental. And that perspective, my dear friends, is essential. So let's delve into the additional tools that Dr. Ricardo and other health professionals value. They're not prohibitions, but rather conscious decisions that, combined, build a solid foundation for our prostate health. Diet is a key pillar. A diet rich in antioxidants, such as those found in cooked tomatoes for their lycopene, berries, broccoli, and spinach, acts as a protective cellular shield. Incorporating healthy fats from avocado, olive oil, and nuts is crucial for their anti-inflammatory properties. Reducing red meat, processed foods, and refined sugars is equally beneficial, as they contribute to inflammation. Mr. Manuel, for example, improved his urinary symptoms and energy by adopting a more Mediterranean diet. The next great ally is movement. We don't need to be athletes. Brisk walking, swimming, cycling, or yoga are all excellent. Regular exercise improves circulation to the prostate, helps maintain a healthy weight, obesity is a risk factor, and reduces inflammation. Movement prevents stagnation, promoting a healthier cellular environment. There are habits worth reconsidering. Smoking is a known enemy of health. Its toxins can damage prostate cells. When it comes to alcohol, moderation is key. Excessive consumption has inflammatory effects and affects hormonal balance. Finally, and of utmost importance, are regular medical checkups. It's a conversation we often avoid, but it's crucial. Early detection of any abnormality is our best tool. Talking to your doctor, undergoing PSA testing or digital rectal exams when recommended isn't a sentence, but a proactive strategy. It's an act of self-love and wisdom, like preventive maintenance. For a vehicle, we don't wait for the engine to fail. We are proactive in taking care of it. It's time to be curious and responsible about our own health. And here we come to a point that often generates curiosity and sometimes even discomfort. But as we've talked about being proactive, about understanding our bodies without taboos, it's essential to approach it with the same openness. I'm referring to masturbation and its role in prostate health. For a long time, myths and misconceptions existed about this practice, which labeled it as harmful or immoral. However, modern science has given us a much clearer and, I would say, liberating perspective on the matter. Recent studies, including significant research, have begun to reveal a positive connection between frequent ejaculation and masturbation is a natural and safe way to achieve it, and a reduced risk of certain prostate conditions. This includes prostatitis, a painful inflammation of the prostate, and, even more importantly, a link has been suggested with a reduced risk of prostate cancer in men with high ejaculation frequencies. Think of the prostate as a gland that produces seminal fluids. If these fluids are not renewed regularly, they can stagnate. This stagnation could lead to the accumulation of potentially irritating or even carcinogenic substances. Ejaculation acts as a natural cleansing or flushing mechanism. It's like a purification system, helping to expel old cells, toxins, and potentially harmful substances, promoting a fresher, healthier environment within the gland. It's a physiological act that contributes to maintaining the flow and vitality of the prostate. Far from being harmful, frequent ejaculation can be seen as another component of a pro-prostate health lifestyle, an act of self-care that complements a healthy diet, exercise, and medical checkups. In short, we've seen how modern science demystifies frequent ejaculation, transforming misperceptions and revealing its valuable role as a natural cleansing and renewal mechanism for the prostate, contributing to reducing the risks of conditions, such as prostatitis and cancer. It's an act of self-care, backed by evidence that complements a healthy lifestyle. I'd love to know what other health myths or topics you'd like us to address with scientific rigor in future episodes. If you found this information liberating and useful, I cordially invite you to subscribe to our channel, activate the bell so you don't miss any of our conversations, and share this video so more people can benefit from science-based knowledge. I sincerely appreciate your attention and your trust. Until next time, take good care of yourselves, and remember that a healthy body is a reflection of an informed mind. I am Dr. Elena Castillo, your guide to health and wellness.